So Mckenzie and Lindsay work on a landscaping crew. They can complete the landscaping job in 4 hours if they work together. Mckenzie generally takes 6 hours less Lindy. How long would it take Mckenzie to complete the landscaping job if Lindy calls in sick? So we have Mckenzie and Lindy work together. They can complete the job in 4 hours together. So let's write that, 4. Now Mckenzie takes 6 hours less than Lindy. So basically Mckenzie equals Lindy, but minus 6. And then we can just say Lindy equals Lindy. How long would it take Mckenzie to complete the landscaping job if Mindy calls in sick? So when we're setting this up, we want to say, okay, 1 over m, so however long Mindy takes, plus 1 over L, however long Lindy takes, or Mckenzie, sorry. Mckenzie and Lindy equals the time they take together, which is 1 over 4. Now we know we like to have this in the same variable. We only want one missing variable, and so I definitely want to put the L minus 6 in for m. So 1 over L minus 6 plus 1 over L equals 1 over 4. Now let's go ahead and find the LCD. Well, here it'll be 4 times L, and we do have to do a completely separate L minus 6 because this is one term, it all has to go together, or not one term, this is one a factor. This is a whole factor, L minus 6, and so you can't tie it into L. So it'll be times L minus 6. So basically when we multiply these, I always think we're just going to be left with whatever they don't have. So if we're timesing, in fact, I'm just going to write it once, 4 times L minus 6. Well, this first one doesn't have 4 and L, and so I know this will just have 1 times 4 times L. The second one doesn't have 4 and L minus 6, so I'm just going to write that 4 times L minus 6. The third one doesn't have L and L minus 6 in that denominator, and so that's what I'm going to write there. If that's too confusing though, you can go ahead and write it for each term and then just cancel. So you'd say, okay, 4 and 4, so we're left with L times L minus 6. So either way works. Now let's go ahead and simplify. So we're going to get 4L plus, we'll go ahead and distribute here. So 4L minus 24 equals L squared minus 6L. Now because we have an L squared, I know I need to get everything on the same side equal to 0 because we're most likely going to have to factor. So let's start with combining like terms. On this side we get 8L minus 24 equals L squared minus 6L. Since L squared is positive on the right and I do want my L squared term to stay positive, I'm going to subtract both of these over. So minus 8L plus 24, we'll put 8L under here, and then plus 24. So we can see here on the left, we'll end up with 0. I'm going to move up here, so 0 equals, and then L squared minus 6 minus 8 gives me a minus 14L, and then plus 24. So now we're going to factor this. We're going to look for factors of 24 that look for negative 14, or sorry, that add up to negative 14. So factors of 24 add up to negative 14. So we can look, 24 and 1 will not work, 12 and 2, will that work? Well, they multiply to be a positive 24, that means they both have to be negative. So if we did that, negative 12 times negative 2 does equal a positive 24, and negative 12 plus negative 2 does equal a negative 14, so that will work. So we'll go ahead and write L minus 12 times L minus 2, and then we'll just set those both equal to 0. So L equals 12 and L equals 2. And this is because when we do L minus 2 equals 0, we add the 2 on both sides and so forth with the L minus 12. So these are our two answers. Well, let's look at this. Do these both make sense? So let's say Lindy equals 2 hours. That would mean Mckenzie, if we subtracted 6, is going to be a negative 4 hours. So does that number make sense in the context? Well, no, it really doesn't. And so we can see L equals 12 will be our answer. So Lindy is 12, which means Mckenzie was L minus 6. So she'll just be 12 minus 6. So then Mckenzie is 6 hours. Now, if you're unsure about it, what you can do is really quick substitute it in. So 1 over 6 plus 1 over 12, and we'll see, does that equal 1/4? This is where I recommend get your calculator out really quick, or just get your common denominator because we're adding fractions. So times by 2 on the top and bottom, which works because it's really like we're adding by or timesing by 1, so it doesn't change the value. So here we get 2/12 plus 1/12, which 2/12 plus 1/12 equals 3/12. Oops, I'm out of space down there, which does equal 1/4, and so we can see that works out. Now this problem is also tricky because it asks how long would it take just Mckenzie to complete the job. So this is one, be careful that you read it. So L equals 12 is not the answer. We're just wondering how long it would take Mckenzie to complete it, and so Mckenzie takes 6 hours, and so your final answer here would be 6 hours.